In a stunning new twist to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Moscow's intelligence service, the FSB, claims to have uncovered a terrorist plot that could have shaken the Russian capital. According to Russian officials, Ukrainian intelligence, working together with Islamic State militants, attempted to assassinate a senior Russian general inside Moscow. It's a claim that has shocked international observers and also once again highlighted the darker, covert side of modern warfare. Welcome back to TFI Global. The Federal Security Service, or FSB, says the plot was orchestrated by Saidakbar Gulomov, an Uzbek national described as a member of the so-called Islamic State. Gulomov, according to Moscow, wasn't just a terrorist. He was a link between the global jihadist networks and Ukraine's own intelligence agencies. The FSB claims he coordinated the operation remotely, recruiting followers across Central Asia and smuggling bomb components into Russia using drones launched from Ukrainian territory. One of his recruits, a Central Asian man living legally in Russia, allegedly assembled an improvised explosive device and hid it inside a bicycle. The explosive was reportedly strong enough to wound or kill anyone within a 70-meter radius. A Russian accomplice is said to have helped position the bicycle bomb near the target site, a high-security area in Moscow believed to be used by senior defense officials. If this sounds familiar, that's because it mirrors another attack that shocked Russia in December 2024, the assassination of General Igor Kirillov, head of Russia's nuclear, biological and chemical defense forces. He was killed by a bomb planted inside an electric scooter, a method that now investigators say bears the same operational signature as the newly foiled plot. For the FSB, the similarities are no coincidence. They claim both attacks were directed by the same man, Gulomov, acting under orders from Kyiv's intelligence service, the SBU. To Moscow, this is not just another assassination attempt. It is proof, they say, that Ukraine has crossed a dangerous line, cooperating with internationally banned terrorist organizations to wage hybrid war on Russia. Russian analysts argue that the pattern here is clear. As Ukraine struggles on the battlefield, it has turned increasingly to sabotage, targeted killings and terror-style tactics inside Russian borders. State security officials describe this as state-sponsored terrorism. They point to the Crocus City Hall massacre of March 2024, when ISIS-K gunmen killed 149 civilians at a concert venue near Moscow. Although the ISIS claimed responsibility, Russian investigators insist the attackers had logistical support from Ukrainian handlers, safe houses, money trails, and drone deliveries traced to the border. The Kremlin argues that the latest plot fits the same pattern, an alliance of convenience between desperate Ukrainian operatives and extremist networks that share a common enemy, that is Russia. Now, why would Ukraine risk such a partnership? The answer lies in the pressure Kyiv now faces. After years of heavy casualties, dwindling Western ammunition and economic hardship, Russia believes Ukrainian intelligence is seeking spectacular acts that can shock Moscow, demoralize Russian troops and grab the global attention. By using jihadist proxies, Ukraine can strike deep inside Russian territory while maintaining plausible deniability. Russian commentators on state television call this a desperate move by a collapsing regime. They frame it as evidence that Ukraine has lost its moral compass, transforming from a state fighting for sovereignty into one willing to embrace terrorism as a policy. The FSB says the investigation is ongoing. 4 suspects have been detained in Moscow, 2 Central Asians and 2 Russian nationals accused of aiding the operation. One of them allegedly ran illegal communication lines that Ukrainian intelligence used to coordinate criminal networks inside Russia. Russian security services have released photos of explosives, drones and wires, though Western media have not independently verified them. Still, for Russia's domestic audience, the message is powerful. The homeland remains under siege and the state's vigilance has once again prevented a catastrophe. From the Kremlin's point of view, this episode proves several things. First, that Russia's counter-terror operations remain among the most effective in the world. Second, that the war with Ukraine is no longer just a territorial dispute, but a clash between civilization and chaos. In speeches following the announcement, Russian officials drew direct parallels between today's Ukraine and the Western-backed Mujahideen of the 1980s, militants who received US support against the Soviet Union and later evolved into Al-Qaeda. For Moscow, the lesson here is clear. When the West arms and trains unstable actors for short-term goals, global terrorism grows stronger. And this time, Russia insists it will not allow history to repeat itself. Kyiv, of course, has rejected the accusations outright. Ukrainian officials call the FSB story a fabrication designed to justify repression and distract from Russia's own war crimes. They argue that Moscow has a record of blaming others for domestic attacks, from the apartment bombings in the 1990s to the Crocus tragedy last year. But within Russia, few seem to doubt the official narrative. State media networks frame the arrests as proof that foreign enemies are seeking to destabilize the country through terror. Public opinion polls show that most Russians believe Western intelligence agencies, particularly the CIA and MI6, are indirectly supporting Ukrainian sabotage efforts. Whether the global community believes the FSB's version or not, the implications are serious. If Russia's evidence stands, it could change the diplomatic landscape. Kyiv's Western allies might face uncomfortable questions about where their money and weapons ultimately end up, and nations already wary of terrorism from India to China may grow more sympathetic to Russia's argument that it is fighting not just NATO but a global extremist threat. And if this information is correct, it could transform the conflict from a political war into a moral one, a defense of stability against chaos. Although the truth about the Ukraine-ISIS connection may take months or even years to verify. One thing is certain, the lines between espionage, terrorism, and conventional warfare are disappearing fast. If you found this analysis informative, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more global geopolitics. Thanks for watching.